Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, that is, what is the difference between going no contact and the silent treatment? I think that's a great viewer question because it really looks at your ways of relating, your perspective of how you feel about how you relate to others in the world as well as how you relate to yourself. And a good correction for right way or right attention can be understood when you look at this question. So when we talk about the silent treatment, it's usually a maladaptive way of dealing with something. It is very, sort of punitive in nature. It is very condescending in nature. It's very critical, and it's very ineffective. The silent treatment is like, it's showing that, it's trying to prove through not saying anything that someone is wrong without having a discussion that where you can arrive at an understanding or a meeting of discussion or feelings that is meant to be discussed or conveyed to another. And so rather than clearing the air, it's a way to thicken the tension. It's a way to create an unspoken, nonverbal tension that eventually you're hoping that if you keep the silent treatment long enough, that person will come and apologize. You're then going to get your needs met. They're going to come crawling to you with their tail between their legs, with, a big boo-boo look on their face and say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And so you're using just sort of this passive-aggressive way, which is, going to, not only is it dysfunctional, but it's going to lead to more dysfunctional ways of relating to others and yourself. So it's really sort of a boomerang effect. You really try to damage others or convey a feeling to others without communicating it, and you're just going to see if they're going to buy into it. You're hoping that they'll get the message through not having a message, and that they'll then, so it's that external locus of control. You're basically hoping that this created tension will have them turn around and then think about what they've done and then realize the error of their ways. Now, so this is not effective. Because not only does it lead to more dysfunctional and more anger within you, it keeps you on pause. It keeps you on dysfunction. It keeps you on coping. It keeps you out of your centered alignment. It keeps you out of your empowered state. You're basically disempowering yourself by thinking that if you go negative on somebody, that they're going to open up, a can of whoop ass and come and apologize and realize the error of their ways. Well, for one, a narcissist does not like to be challenged. They don't like to hear that there's anything wrong with them, even if it's quote unquote constructive criticism. They don't feel that, their personal growth and relationships is subject to discussion. They just don't feel it's part of their entitlement. It's part of their lack of empathy. It's part of their pathological sense of self-importance. All they feel is their needs. They don't see the other side of the coin. For all they care and all they know, there is no other side of the coin. It's just how they're going to see what they want to see, even despite evidence to the contrary. In fact, that's when the brainwashing comes through. I didn't do that. I didn't say that you're making that up. I mean, they'll use the brainwashing when it's clearly obvious. Facts might be based to the other, but yet they'll just come back to try to throw you off. It's a battle of wits. It's a battle of then hostility or the negative emotions of anger. So you're only sort of getting yourself riled up underneath the surface. So, the silent treatment oftentimes could be either, through not dealing with something. In other words, you're dealing with something through not dealing with it, which means you're just basically feeling that you don't have what it takes to have a discussion with them, and then if they're not willing to learn, then to hit the road and saying, I'm not going to take this anymore. So rather than being able to face up to your own fear or your own, challenge, your own really right way of handling things, even though it might be painful, even though it might be difficult to say, this is not working out. This is not, this is not to be tolerated. This is very uncomfortable. This is negative. This is, really not suited correctly for me. Rather than accepting oftentimes where the relationship truly is at, then the silent treatment will try to keep it sort of stuck in place. So people then feel stuck. So you're not really understanding that to go no contact is to say, period, end of story. 100%, I am not going to take this anymore. I am done. I have enough experience to know that this is not right for me, or where I want to be, where I should be, or even where I want to be. People oftentimes don't get to that want stage because even though they know they need to change, they don't want to change. Even though they know that they need to cut off the relationship, they don't want to. They're afraid of the pain. They're afraid that they can't think through the emotions. The emotions are overwhelming. I can't think about what to do. I would have to, I would have to move. I would have to, spend Fridays and Saturdays doing something different. I might have to change my friends. There's all this looming over them that they feel that they can't handle. Even though in reality you can handle it, you actually really can. You just have to accept it and swallow the big horse pill. You have to say, I get it. And the more that you procrastinate, the more you put it off, the more you're building it up in your mind and in your gut to be something that it isn't, in other words, something that you can't handle. And the more you put it off, the more overwhelming it is because you're just sweeping it under the rug. And you're trying to walk across the rug and you keep tripping. So really, it's to give yourself some credit. You can handle it. It is going to get better. Swallow the pill. Accept what you need to accept. Write it down. I need to stop subjecting myself to this type of relationship. And, you might understand that you've had enough fights, you've had enough disagreements, you've, seen that they've cheated on you, you are not satisfied that they're not there for you, they're not emotionally available, they're not physically available. So you're just basically at the precipice of the peak where you should be standing on top of the world and say, I get it now. This is what it is. I've got this. And then get a grip, meaning just literally hold on, literally give, some hold, really just get a grip. In other words, people when they're anxious, they don't really maybe assert themselves. So get assertive. I'm done. I can handle this. I can handle this. I can handle this. I can handle this. I am great at handling this. I am number one at handling this. I can handle this. I've got this. Repeat that over and over and over and over again and get it in a positive, a positive vibe and a positive rhythm and a positive momentum. And then even if it feels painful, assert yourself. I've got this. I've got this. And even speaking it out loud, you can hear yourself. And then also as you hear it, you're sending a message to your body. You can do this. And you'll start to feel confidence flooding through your system, through your abdomen, to your legs. And then you'll start to smile a little bit and lighten up. Rather than, scowling and being angry and being depressed and I can't and all that, down and out stuff that keeps you in a funk for days, if not years. Isn't enough enough? So you have to arrive at that rock bottom moment. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And just get to that level of commitment. When you do that, you'll understand no contact. No contact means going no contact. Not looking them up, not driving by, not texting them, not looking through messages, not looking in little forget-me-nots, and not dwelling and being miserable in the past. Yes, learning the error of the ways, your lessons learned. Write them down. Lessons learned in your recovery journal. Lessons learned. And you need to just do this without the censor interfering. In other words, this is for your eyes only. Even though I don't want to hear this, I really know that. Even though I don't want to feel this, I really feel that. Even though I don't want to think this, I really need to think about. Even though it hurts, I really understand that I need to get a grip on. Even though it seems overwhelming, I can really break it down, and I really know that I need to. So getting and restructuring some of these questions is a way to help break through that confusion and that fog, and that maybe I should do a silent treatment. Even though it hurts, I know that I really need to. Even though it's been a long time, the truth for me really means that. And, even if it means breaking up, separating, going your own way, it's going to get better. You're not just a little, pipsqueak, or, a weakling, or, a limp rag. Give yourself more credit than that. And look at, where have I not been giving myself enough credit? Oftentimes you're not giving yourself enough credit because others who, if you've surrounded yourself very intensely with people who are narcissistic, who you've dated, you're engaged to be married to, or married, or families who have, basically indoctrinated you with, you're not good enough, you're terrible, you're miserable, what's wrong with you, smack, whatever. You've had that basically imprinted within. So no matter, that's why it's so difficult for you to, take the no contact road, because you've been so indoctrinated to say that you're not good enough, or to feel that way. And so that feeling undergirds and undermines everything. To understand that physiology is where all that negativity is cooking up. So you've got to sort of get that and flush that out, and then sort of detox from that negativity that you have adhered to, swallowed, and ingested from all the, mistreatment, all the manipulation, all that sort of, confusing, cognitive dissonance, brainwashing, and gaslighting that's had you down, out, and disempowered. So no wonder you don't believe in yourself. So you need to believe in yourself. You have to absolutely positively believe in yourself. You can, you will, you are, it's on, it's going on, I'm doing me, I'm doing the right thing, I know this is it, oh thank God, I know what the right thing is to do now, I am jumping for joy, hallelujah, I've got it now. And then you'll have more positive energy than moving you forward and cycling you forward once you get it. It's when you understand that you can, you will have boundaries and standards that you are sensitive to and aware of and enforce for yourself. Number one, the buck has to start and stop with you, meaning you have to give yourself the credit, even if others haven't given you the credit because it's not convenient for them, it doesn't make them look good. You deserve what you deserve, and you know it. Stop the fog of denial that you don't have what it takes, you're not talented enough, you're not lovable enough, just because someone else wants to churn through relationships, on the daily. Someone, or have a pathological lying problem to others, doesn't mean that you have to put up and subject yourself to this hyper arousal, which oftentimes is a paranoia that people don't want to let go of. It's an insecurity that they don't want to let go of, because if I didn't feel insecure, what would I feel? You might feel calm. You might feel quiet. You might feel neutral. You might feel indifferent. You might just be. And you're a human being, so that's how it's okay, and you should feel. It's okay to be. It's okay to just stop the madness, stop the toxicity, and go without. You can do it. It's, sometimes the cold turkey is the way to do it. You don't have to explain anything, justify, make reasoning, send a farewell letter, send a farewell text. This is my last meal. This is my last date. This is our last. Stop all the sentimentality. The sentimentality will drive you nuts. I mean, sentiment. If you, get some space and then start looking at the nostalgia. Stop, over stop over sentimentalizing the relationship. Does that make sense? Because if you put too much sentiment into the relationship, you're just going to be, like the lonely bard, the poet who just is always in mourning. Is that really your I am? Is that really your identity? Is that how you feel about yourself? So no contact is when you're aware of the fact that this relationship is either going around in circles, it's going down, it's going back, it's taking you in the wrong direction, it's not supportive for you, it's not nurturing, you're not getting your needs met, you're waiting too long, they're not ready yet. All these different things, you just have to draw the line for yourself. It's drawn by you and enforced by you. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and please donate for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. You've got this. You can do this. Begin to really put the value in yourself. Even though others might, who are narcissistic or psychopathic, might not have validated you as such because it's not convenient for them, because it does not serve them, because they have a pathological sense of self-importance, oftentimes obsessively so, and you have been indoctrinated to feel not worth enough. Understand the cause that's created this effect and turn it around. Stay tuned. Have a beautiful day.